The officiating crew tonight for this second semifinal game: John Higgins, Steve Skiles, and Patrick Adams. Vern Lundquist, Bill Raftery. We had a good one earlier. We anticipate one in this game. Lorenzo Romar, Washington, his alma mater. Fourth season as the head coach. And Jim Calhoun, a Hall of Famer now, in his 20th season as the head coach at Connecticut. Controlled by UConn. There's Josh Boone underneath. Quick two.
Quick hitter, running the floor. I think that's very key for both teams getting back. The Huskies are both in main event.
You know, they almost didn't give you time to say that.
They did not. But I think the big thing is the matchups. Who's playing Roy, who's playing Gay, and we'll get to that, Vern.
Armstrong is on Brockman. Here's Williams on Dentman. It's 5-on-5. And the first rejection of the game from Josh Boone.
And this is a turnover. It should be off of Connecticut. The referees got blocked out. Tough. And they are very fortunate to get the basketball back off of Hilton Armstrong's knee.
Connecticut in the first round defeated Albany. They were down by 12 in that game with 12 to go. But Jim Calhoun said the last 10 minutes they played really, really well.
And 47% field goal percentage as Williams gets an early open look. Lorenzo Romar's guys shoot 47%. You saw the block earlier by Hilton Armstrong. Fourth year in a row they led the country in block shots. They changed your field goal percentage, Vern.
Well, here's a small note. In their victory over Kentucky last weekend, they had only one block. First time in 3 years that UConn had only one block in a game. There's John Brockman. Here's the run out by Armstrong and a free throw.
Well, the big fella, every year he has sat there and learned and worked, Hilton Armstrong. A Mecca Okafor for a couple of years, and then the opportunity, he took advantage. His ability around the rim has been chronicled, but how about this? The puppy's up and down, the strong, send it in, and Brockman caught on the rear.
And the assist to Marcus Williams. He's had 8 in each of the first 2 NCAA games. And Williams, I think the best point guard in America, averaging 8.5 assists per game, and Armstrong misfires on the free throw attempt.
And to add to Williams, what he does, he shortens the floor. He's got great feel. He reminds me of a little Bobby Hurley. Used to throw those 40, 50-foot passes.
Brandon Roy, a little scoop shot. And whistle while they retrieve the basketball. Don't forget, those of you who are expecting the tip for Georgetown in Florida from Minneapolis, we'll get you there in time for the tip at 17 minutes after 10 o'clock Eastern time. Thrilling game in overtime as Villanova won Boston College, and we had George Mason defeating Wichita State here, traveling on UConn, and it will be Mike Jensen to inbound.
Washington must get back because they're a heck of a defensive team in the half court. But if they give up easy opportunities, they won't take advantage of one of their strengths.
Both of these teams average in excess of 80 points. Brandon Roy, Jim Calhoun, Bill, said Brandon Roy is the most complete basketball player in college ball.
Well, I love his style as Gay takes the deep one and Boone tries to keep it alive. I think the big thing, Denham Brown has him. You will see somebody bigger playing Roy if he continues to make outside shots, and it may even be Gay. They've been happy with his defense.
Rudy Gay goes for the steal and instead is charged with a foul. Brandon Roy, the 6'6" senior from Seattle Garfield High School.
And Jensen with a good snap chest pass. Brown helps out defensively, pays for it, set up by the ability to put it on the deck. Roy, very resourceful, loves to get in the lane and distribute as well.
How complete a player is he? There are 13 statistical categories kept in Pac-10 ball. He is on the leaderboard of 9 of them. There's an air ball from Bobby Jones.
And really should have been on the leaderboard for player of the year with the other 2 guys we all mentioned all year, Reddick and Morrison.
Right. There's another turnover. That's 2 for UConn. Justin Dentman at the free throw line finds John Brockman.
Nice.
There's
hand.
a strip by Josh Boone.
And Williams with the head up. Look at this lob. Say goodnight.
No. And Armstrong is fouled as he goes up. Well, the Washington Wizard, look at this, 20 points per game, almost 6 rebounds, 4 assists, and steals.
And patiently again, last year a heck of a sixth man, an outstanding talent. Came in and showed everybody what he's capable of doing this year, just stepping up and functioning beautifully.
Armstrong off the back rim.
I'm looking at Jim Calhoun. He's over with Marcus Williams now. Marcus, he probably didn't like the way he delivered the lob. I mean, he doesn't give a... I said one night he's Sparky Anderson, the old Tiger manager, Cincinnati. Give you the quick hook, throw one ball out. Let's get somebody else in, but he'll be right back.
So Craig Austrie is on the floor, so also is Rashad Anderson, as Calhoun gave the hook to two of his starters.
He will be back, no question about it, particularly Williams.
Jensen got it.
That's his game. Spread out, you must stay at home on him. It's tough for Armstrong, that distant from the rim.
Here's Craig Austrie, the freshman who started at the beginning of the year, number 24, guarded by Justin Dentman.
And he had a great weekend, I thought, when they played the two guys together against Kentucky at point. Williams and Austrie made a big difference.
Anderson traveling.
The ability to stretch the floor, and you see the distance that the defense has to run, just unable to get that kind of coverage. Jensen, who spends a little time with the bottle, I think, Vern.
And you're talking about hair coloring, I assume.
Yes. Nothing to do with us.
I just didn't know what path you were going to travel there.
I checked on that. I thought it might be true. Just doing my due diligence.
Yes, absolutely. And I think you have peroxide in mind. 8-1 Washington run. Mike Jensen, who has started since midseason, had a dislocated shoulder on which he had surgery last year. So you don't think the blonde is a natural look?
No, it's very becoming. I mean, it's attractive. Bill Parcells a little bit. Don't tell him I said that.
You don't need to. I think he'll hear about it.
He loves his basketball.
Here's Ryan Appleby, who played his first year at the University of Florida. He's from Stanwood, Washington.
And a very confident guy. Great deep stroke.
He's a great three-point shooter.
And warms up quickly.
Jumper, Jamal Williams, who's also on the floor for the Washington Huskies. And it's a 10-8 game, 16-18 to go.
And Jamal, one of those guys that plays bigger, and they get a look by instant offense. Heat him up. Rashad Anderson from deep.
11-10, UConn. Mike Jensen.
This is a tough match, I think, for Anderson. Nice look by Roy.
Beautiful. Yes.
Doesn't that make him special?
Yes.
I mean, he's got great vision, can play with his back to the hoop, and still seek out a teammate.
Denham Brown for three. There's the answer.
These two teams look sharper.
As we said, they average in excess of 80. They give up 65 per. And there's the tip, chased down by Craig Austrie. UConn. Appleby's back defensively. Austrie.
He should have fan dribbled.
Jensen to Appleby, left side. Bobby Jones. Oh, my goodness.
He made a ball fake without palming or walking. That was magnificent. Froze the defense and split him.
Pace of this game is terrific.
I love it. It does have a great feel. A nice trap, and they're going to force the timeout, and they're going to walk, and they get the timeout.
Bobby Jones. Nice run underneath, and two for the Washington Huskies. Second game of our doubleheader, the regional semifinal. The winner of this one gets George Mason, and really an attractive start to this, Bill.
Woo-woo, shall we say? The ability to go up and down the floor, and I think it's very important that both teams do get back defensively. We're gonna see a lot of talent, Vern, and Roy is just sensational at finding his teammates. He's maybe the best all-around player in the country. And then you counter that with the depth and talent. We mentioned Anderson come in and made that jump shot. I mean, here's a guy that can fill it up, comes in when things aren't going well, and is ready to knock him down.
Marcus Williams back on the floor, lost control of that.
Oh, you don't leave him.
Oh, my goodness. Bobby Jones, who is the best defender on the floor for the Huskies, ran away from him. That's almost inexplicable.
Yeah, it's amazing. Well, probably wasn't his responsibility. Initially, he said, I better get on my guy, which was probably gay. We'll check it out.
Ryan Appleby at the other end. UConn is 4 of 5 on threes.
Adrian now defensively out here, a guy who plays bigger. So does Williams, and that's that walk on the spin.
Jamal Williams with the travel. Time has been called. UConn by 3, and Jim Calhoun earlier with a quick hook.
Yeah, you know, people who followed UConn, you know he's demanding. He wants them to be extraordinary, excellent, and he gets their attention. And at this time of year, they are always ready. And I remember once this year, Marcus Williams was taken out quickly. And after the game, I said to Jimmy, what happened, Coach? Why'd you take him out? He said, when I was talking in the huddle, I asked him something. I didn't like his answer. So that was it. But he's back in, he respects, and they respond. I mean, these kids are well-oiled at this time of year, every year.
Josh Boone can't hang on, and here comes, nice pass in the corner. That was a beauty.
Nice open look. I mean, they've had a couple of opportunities. That time, Joel Smith.
Joel Smith misses, but Ryan Appleby cans a 3 to tie it, it's 2 just inside the line. So it's 17-16 UConn. Marcus Williams with the ball, goes by Appleby. And there's John Brockman, the freshman from Snohomish, Washington, and a foul is called underneath. Let's see if they got Brockman or Williams.
You know what's interesting? Williams is playing a much bigger Josh Boone, and that was the advantage there. Anytime you drive to the rim, it wasn't a good shot by Marcus Williams, but when you've got those big guys attracted to the bounce, all of a sudden your bigs can get to the rim.
Josh Boone, 6'10", 237-pound junior from Mount Airy, Maryland. Not too far away, a little north of Baltimore. Go to mycokerewards.com/NCAA to play Coca-Cola NCAA Championship Run 2006. Boone with one more.
Because here's a guy who's Defensive Player of the year before.
Yeah, a year ago. And Hilton Armstrong, who is now coming back on the court, replacing Josh Boone, was the winner of that award in the Big East this year. Armstrong with a marvelous season, 101 blocks. That's good enough to place him 5th on the all-time list. Emeka Okafor has got everything else sewn up. I think it's 4th in the list.
What a career he had academically as well. And that little jump hook, he's got that down, Williams. Plays bigger, they claim, and it looks it.
Rudy Gay, he's fouled by Jamal Williams, and stares are exchanged.
Well, you know what that was? You're not going to do it in my inside position here. It's not his house, but Gay was trying to bring it down.
Foul on Williams, his 2nd. Rudy Gay, who is from Baltimore and topic of a lot of conversation this week because he's back home, and big battle recruiting-wise between UConn and Maryland for Rudy Gay, and he opted to go to Connecticut. Averages this season, look at the all-around play that he presents.
And he's a guy that they've brought along too. By that, he's a great talent, but has to do everything according to Hoyle. Well, Calhoun, anyhow.
Right, yeah.
And the response has been, they feel the other day played great defense.
I'm sorry, I'm looking at the bench, and Jeff Adrian tried to take a seat at the end of the bench. And Calhoun said, you get back here and you sit down right now.
He's even the usher, huh?
Absolutely. Adrian tried to sneak down to the very end of the bench. Oh, my goodness. Under 13 to go first half.
And Nelson, who I think really has sparked this team on occasion during the NCAA tournament, out on Jensen. I mean, he'll compete, and that's what Jimmy likes about it. He'll bang people around. Anything loose, he goes after.
There's Armstrong with a rebound, and he lost control of the ball. It is out of bounds, touch last by.
And I think it was by Connecticut. Good call.
Yes.
Bobby Jones right there. Good response. Jimmy spends a lot of time. Where you staying? What's your favorite restaurant down here? I'm sure that's part of the deal.
Absolutely.
The waiter hit me with an elbow.
Calhoun, a Hall of Famer now. He and Jim Boeheim went in the same class. Here's the jumper. Dentman not there. And, oh, what a cheapie.
You hate to see that. Little nickel dimer. I'll tell you, he struggled in mid-year. But this kid's had a terrific season, I think. Looking at them coming down the stretch. Some solid wins.
John Brockman back in, one of the most highly prized recruits in recent Washington history. He was a recruiting battle subject in both Duke and Washington before deciding to stay home. Brockman makes the interception here. Finds Jensen. The give back to Roy. Back to Jensen for three. Not there. Roy with a rebound.
And that's why he's so special. Look at this.
Oh, what a pass.
Oh,
and the basket.
And he enjoys that as much as a dunk or a jump shot. Little block here. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, we've got one official overruling the other. Patrick Adams called the offensive foul.
And Jimmy's out on the floor. He's got to be careful. Look at he's going to get one. Okay, this is one of those that not in position to draw it. Lorenzo Romar, the beneficiary of a call on this particular play.
UConn with 7 turnovers in the early going. We near the 12-minute mark. John Brockman, he's only taken 2 shots in the tournament. That is his 3rd shot in 2.5 games and his first made basket for the freshman out of Snohomish.
And look who picked up the charge. Nelson, Lord Nelson. Very active. Brockman, big and strong. Talk about middle linebackers, huh?
It was an offensive foul, no made basket. So let me quickly correct that.
And here's the full court pressure. Now this team really can get after you. And one of the premier guys. Look what they have on Williams. And look at the hands by Jones.
That was a bad catch by Chuck Gardner, our statistician. Bad hands for Santa Monica Gardner. Time is called. Marcus Williams. Marcus Williams, UConn Huskies with the ball, a 20-20 game. Here's Ed Nelson, Rashad Anderson, the three-point specialist, but this one is in and out. The putback, beautifully done by Josh Boone.
And that's why, you press, you're going to pay for it. Anderson will make those, and obviously when you shoot softly, your big guys can follow. Nice position by Boone.
Justin Dentman at the point guard. Here's Brandon Roy. Ed Nelson, Denham Brown has him defensively.
And Nelson's really jammed up the middle with that big body. Look at him helping and then recovering. This is great.
Oh, he really is. What effort. Now left side, Roy kicks it back to Jensen. Bobby Jones in the corner. Terrific ball movement, but the three-point shot not there. Here's Rashad Anderson. And there's Boone to pick it up. And Jensen clears it for Washington.
Boone made a great effort to try and come up with that.
I really like what I'm seeing from Ed Nelson, though, Bill.
Oh, this kid, he's all about effort. Rookie of the year in the ACC when he was a freshman at Georgia Tech. As Brockman provides a lift, and he just does whatever they want. All the clips you get, he's successful in the roles they want from him. Screening, rebounding, occasionally knocking shots down. Excuse me, Vern.
There's the first shot by John Brockman, first field goal of the tournament. Denham Brown, nice.
Oh, nice step through.
Brockman, nope. And a foul.
I think it might be Jensen coming in from the top.
That's his first 16 foul. Hilton Armstrong, who got an ankle wrap during the timeout, is back on the floor. Rudy Gay, who got a lecture from Jim Calhoun during the timeout, is back on the floor. And Ed Nelson gets a nice reception as he goes to the bench.
And well-deserved.
Craig Austrie is going to come back for UConn as well. That was the 7th team foul, so 1-1, and Josh Boone's going to go to the line. Austrie for Marcus Williams.
Well, they do have a talented array that can come in and rest people.
They're just so deep.
They are, and talented.
Boone was 6-3 so far. Ryan Appleby is back on the floor for the Washington Huskies. It's Huskies against Huskies. How many are there, you ask?
I know you've got the answer. Mush, you Husky.
I wouldn't raise the issue if I didn't. At the other end, Brockman, no.
Not a good judgment.
Rudy Gay puts it in the hands of the freshman Craig Austrie.
Appleby sort of running the point, but with Brandon Roy out there, he can make a lot of decisions.
Rudy Gay. Off the rim, Bobby Jones with a rebound. Left side, Ryan Appleby.
Got to be careful with him in the early. He can drill that freeze three-pointer.
Brandon Roy, no. Austrie, nice rebound. Brockman picks up a cheapie.
Yeah, it sure was. Shame. Anytime the little guy has it, just sprint to the other end.
That's 3 fouls on the freshman now. In the first game, he was limited the first game of the tournament because he picked up 3 quick ones in the first half.
And that's not the kind you like. Usually banging or going for a rebound, you could understand it. What a great physical specimen for the game of basketball.
John Brockman grew up in Snohomish near the city of Everett.
That's your little neighborhood, right?
Oh, yeah.
Years ago.
As a young lad. I grew up watching the Washington Huskies, as a matter of fact. And there's a loose ball out of bounds, touched last by UConn. It'll be Washington ball.
So you saw that great team with Bob Hubriggs?
Well, the great team from 51, 52, and 53, Bob Hubriggs, Joe Cipriano, that was the team that got me hooked on basketball. And
one of the legendary coaches, too.
Tippy Dye.
Tippy Dye, and then later on, Marv Harshman. And how about Tippy Dye ended up a football coach at Ohio State as well?
He was before he went to Washington, and then ironically became the athletic director of Wichita State. And still living in San Diego. Here's Williams off the glass, not there. Rudy Gay with a rebound.
Look at these bigs run, huh?
Yeah. Boone to Armstrong. Boone gets it back.
You know, Vern, in December, Austria got a chance to run the team. He plays with a lot of confidence out here when he comes in for Williams or plays with him.
2-point UConn lead. Ball on the floor. It's loose. Picked up by Jamal Williams. Oh, terrific touch.
Too much dribbling out here for Denham Brown. That's not his game.
Here's Brown.
In charge, too. Wow. A little out of sorts. 2 tough plays. And, boy, Jim, you're not a real happy guy on the sideline either.
And we have word from the official scoring bench that they changed the last foul from Brockman to Mike Jensen. That's very significant.
Boy, I'll say.
So each of them has 2 fouls. Brockman continues to sit, but he sits with only 2 instead of 3.
Boy, that would have really strapped Lorenzo.
8:22 to go. Here's Brandon Roy. Out to Jensen. Back to Roy.
Look at that.
Oh,
stretch,
my goodness.
Well, you know, they've done a great job. He likes to dribble to the lane, drop, step, and spin. They've taken that away twice now. But how about that counter and delivery?
Roy has 7. Washington Huskies lead by 2 at the 8-minute mark. Marcus Williams, terrific spin move. But then the shot altered, out of bounds, touched last by UConn. 7 minutes, 52 seconds to go first half. 7:52 to go in the first half of play. Huskies against Huskies. The answer to the question you didn't ask. There's one more Division I, Northern Illinois, but the list goes on. Here's Ryan Appleby. Over and back. How about that?
Oh, that's Detman right up to get in. And that's just not concentrating, really. Not going by, not turning them up. We met and saw Lorenzo Romar at the University of St. Louis. We both were fortunate enough to have the championship, which he won. Just did a great job there. Justin Love was the love of his life in those days. MVP of that tournament.
Now, you asked him yesterday where he was now, and Justin Love is playing professional basketball. Check this out. In China.
Yeah. It's amazing how that has caught on, though.
Yes. Yao Ming, exactly.
Nice post pass. Finish it.
He did.
And how about the pass by Rashad Anderson? You always think of him as a shooter. He's a terrific defender. His assignment now is Roy. Let's see if they go inside against him.
We are tied again, nearing 7 minutes to go first half. Back to Brandon Roy, Rashad Anderson. There's Roy with a pump fake, and he doesn't get the foul. But there's the putback, Jamal Williams.
And he doesn't say anything, Roy. He may have gotten hit, but I love his attitude.
Williams has 8. Tipped last by Washington. 28-26, 6:50 to go.
And, you know, good
and
team.
Lorenzo Romar is giving an official an earful.
And the point being, Roy was banged, and I don't blame him for asking, but a heck of a post move. Good teams read things and take advantage for it, and they did, but came up empty.
Lorenzo Romar is an assistant at UCLA, part of a championship team in 1995. Out of bounds, touched last by UConn, and Jim Calhoun has the ball. He's not going to give it back. Calhoun is not going to give it back.
He's got a tee.
He got it, yes.
For throwing it to the other.
Technical on Calhoun. Because he threw the ball over Patrick Adams to another official.
You know, I know he was trying to send the message there, and now the look of innocence, obviously, as all coaches would do. But that's one I think you've got to overlook a little, because he did throw it to an official. You know what I'm saying? Be careful, Jimmy. It's not worth it. You know? And George Blaney and Tommy Moore both up there trying to doing a box-out drill.
Brandon Roy hits both. 4-point lead. First time at the line for the Washington Huskies.
You know, Brandon Roy came up with a great play to cause that turnover. And he turned the ball handler and got a hand in and created the chaos.
Dedman, largest Husky lead now, Washington that is. 6:30 to go. Mike Jensen. Jamal Williams. The double comes from Austria, and the basket is good. And Washington is up by 6.
Boone at a disadvantage with the smaller guy.
Brandon Roy with a steal.
How about this defense, Vernon? Gay almost comes up with one.
A 10-2 Washington run. Marcus Williams, Denham Brown back on the floor for UConn. And here comes Jeff Adrian back on the floor for UConn. He replaces Josh Boone.
And it's interesting because Adrian is a little smaller. Let's see if he stays with Jensen or they switch it up.
Yep, Lorenzo Romar makes the change and brings Joel Smith on. Number 0. 32-26. These two teams met in 1998, March 22nd. And UConn in the Sweet 16, Richard Hamilton with a fall-away putback gave them a victory of 75-74. But here is Washington leading by 8.
A nice penetration by Denman, getting all to the rim, all the way.
Rudy Gay, little elbowing in the lane, and an air ball. On the line is Denman.
Well, they are frustrating UConn, rushing just a little bit, out of position, not squared up on jump shots.
Rudy Gay, who had only 5 shots in that opening win against Albany, is 0 for 4 in this game. And Calhoun will ask him where he's going to have dinner. Denham Brown.
I'll tell you what, they are struggling right now. They got a discard in the lane, and it's going the other way. I think it may have been Josh Boone, if I'm not mistaken.
Joel Smith, Denman, Jamal Williams, Bobby Jones, and Brandon Roy on the floor for the team from Seattle.
This team is doing a great job reversing the ball, isolating. Here's the disadvantage, and unfortunately, Boone held his ground, and Jamal Williams moved the puppies.
6 turnovers for Washington now, 10 for UConn. And full court pressure is going to be applied by the Washington Huskies.
Nice
Back
kick.
to Denham Brown. Yes!
That's what Williams does, though. Puts it on a platter. You just have to knock it down.
And 1.
Boy, the blow by with the left hand going to that dominant hand. Whew. You just see you can't get any help from the top. The big guys are deployed properly so the defense can't come in, but the penetration by Williams, something they have lacked. And this time, the dish, and Denham Brown comes up firing a little bit. But they have lacked poise on offense, Vern. Connecticut, that is.
Joel Smith's going to go to the line. Denham Brown is out, and Rudy Gay back in. Now this is going to be a little confusing, but we want to try and clarify. During the last timeout, the officiating crew went back to the scorer's table, looked at the tape, and they have changed the call on the foul from Brockman. So Jensen does not pick up that foul, and Brockman is given his third foul. And that occurred during the last timeout. The officiating crew asked to see the tape of the play, and John Brockman is on the bench, and he does have 3. We assume they will not change it again.
I hope not. Cameron Dollar over the sideline, and he's given the defensive chore by Lorenzo Romar, and he's got his guys. He is all peppered and alive over there, clapping and applauding. They've been terrific.
Boone is fouled.
Now they run that trap. You got to post up. Maybe a little bit tardy on it.
Joel Smith picks up his first. That is the 9th team foul on Washington, and Boone goes to the line. I'd say he used all the rim.
He does, the crawler.
CBS Sportsline is your destination for complete tournament coverage. Get bracket updates, video highlights, and expert analysis for each tournament game at cbssportsline.com.
And Vern, he's 55%. He's really improved the type of delivery. Now, I know that was short, but everything about it is much better than it was a couple of years ago.
Justin Dentman finds Joel Smith, and Joel Smith will find the free throw line.
I'll tell you, they are not alert. Rudy Gay, I don't know if he's coming out, but he had the defensive lapse. And they are just trying to shake these guys up. I mean, this opposing club, Washington, came to play, and you better match that energy and vim and vigor.
Washington with a first-round win in San Diego over Utah State. Then they had that thrilling game against Illinois, up by 14 in the first half, down by 11. Came back and captured the victory. Here's Joel Smith with a free throw. Hilton Armstrong and Austria are back in as Jim Calhoun continues to rotate players. He's pulled Gay and Adrian now.
And Gay's a little frustrated too, Vern, I think. You know, in front of the hometown folks, a lot of connections here for him, plus not playing well out of the gate.
Smith, 8-point Washington lead, 4:44 to go. This matches the largest lead for the Washington Huskies. Austria and Williams, the guards. Rashad Anderson, Hilton Armstrong, and Josh Boone on the floor.
And Vern, this is when they played better against Kentucky. The 2 guards got in the game, were much better organized. They may not have the high-powered wing to go with.
That win over Kentucky, Tubby Smith's team playing perhaps its best game of the year. And 5 on the shot clock. Here's Marcus Williams.
They got a palm and a good call.
And guess who was defending him?
Roy was there, and William, nice little combination job. Little left-right, little jab and a hook.
Brandon Roy.
How about that? They do just a great job. One turns to the other and just squeezes it closed.
Brandon Roy out of Seattle Garfield High School had some problems passing the SAT. Actually sat out for part of a year until his the 4th time he took the test, and it cleared. And he spent that time working for Northwest Shipping and Container on the docks in Seattle as a janitor.
How about that for wanting something?
And there's a steal. Brandon Roy punctuates this.
Well, whatever you want, the quick timeout now by Jim Calhoun. And right now, they are a shadow of themselves. It's terrific defense. First the trap on the other end, and now the sleight of hand. Send it in from the Northwest.
Brandon Roy is going to get a well-deserved rest here with 3:44 to go. An 18-6 Washington run has given them a 10-point lead with 3:44 to go. Rob Garrison is now the latest on the floor for UConn as Jim Calhoun tries to find a combination that works. 13 turnovers for UConn here in the first half.
And Rob Garrison was the guy that pushes it. He gets to the rim. And of course, Washington with points off a turnover, Vern. How about that?
How's that quick rest for Brandon Roy. He's back on the floor.
Now, the clock hasn't started. This shouldn't be permitted. Correct?
I don't think so.
He just went out on a dead ball. He came back on a dead ball.
Mm-hmm. And we are told now that the University of Washington bench was just told that Brockman does have 3 fouls, not the 2 that they assumed was the case.
So you know what? They didn't declare Roy out of the game then. That's what happened.
Right. 3:25 to go. Williams, Boone, another foul.
Oh, and look at the bench over there. They are excited. Great defense negated.
Time called. 3:21 to go first half. 3:21 to go first half. Washington Huskies over UConn 40-30. John Brockman on your left with 3 fouls. Jamal Williams on your right with 3 fouls. 10-point Washington lead. And on the floor, Josh Boone, Marcus Williams, Craig Austrie, Rashad Anderson, and Hilton Armstrong with Boone at the line.
And the big thing, does UConn get some rhythm going, Vern? A lot of different faces.
Josh Boone at the line, shooting the second of a 1-and-1. He is 4 for 6 tonight. UConn as a team 6 of 12, and Boone gets them both. And that cuts it to an 8-point Washington lead with 3:21 to go. Justin Dentman out of Carbondale, Illinois. Right side, Joel Smith. Little jump stop, up, and the tip. Boone gets it. Here's Marcus Williams. Jensen back defensively.
How about that block, huh? Now Jensen kept giving ground. That was pretty good defensive play, and then the block at the end.
Coming up on Singular at the half, Greg, Clark, and Seth will take you out for a live look at the Florida-Georgetown game. And they'll get you caught up on all the latest tournament news, plus a Singular Naismith update. That's all coming up on Singular at the half. Mike Jensen's second. Marcus Williams has 1 more.
And Vern, Joel Smith's a lefty, and twice he's been able to go left, turn the corner, and do some damage. You've got to take that away. Connecticut is not alert at all. They're not doing a good job on either end of the floor.
Marcus Williams shoots 1 more. Rudy Gay continues to sit for UConn. He has had a really ineffective 10 minutes in the first half. Gay 0 for 4, 2 turnovers and 1 rebound, and he is on the bench. Under 3 to go.
Well, side pick and roll, and Roy likes to turn the corner and do some damage.
Dentman backs in.
How about this?
And the little guy posting up. How about that?
Manufactured a post up out of Carbondale. This is a great story. Here's a kid who went to Winchendon Prep, and here he is backing in and creating some damage. And the people back at home got involved, the church as well, Vern, to pay the tuition up at the prep school, and he was eligible the next year. So he got himself squared away, a real tribute to what they must think about him.
Well, at Carbondale High School, he attracted the attention of Lorenzo Romar. Even before that, Romar, when he was at St. Louis, knew about him, and then Dentman had a great high school career. But the contact, Illinois came after him very hard, but the contact with Lorenzo Romar paid off when he gained his academic eligibility, and here he is from Carbondale in Seattle.
Using that high screen right here.
Austrie over Appleby. Little runner in and out. Boone tips it. Austrie gets it back. Marcus Williams for 3. Yes.
And Boone, you're right. That was a big part of that play to get the goal.
Williams with a great look. He's got 11. And UConn has cut the margin to 5. And the bench is energized. Everybody's up until Calhoun goes over and tells them to sit down. 2:04 to go before the break. In the corner, Brandon Roy.
Nice use of the screen, though, Vern. Flared out.
Off the dribble. Knocked away. In the corner. In and out. Tipped. Dentman has it, and a foul is called on Roy.
Roy thought he should have got a foul called on his penetration, and then gets it right there. not getting many decent looks as he goes to the rim.
Lorenzo Romar urging his team on. And UConn's going to go back and shoot free throws. Hilton Armstrong as Roy picks up his first foul.
And you know what's interesting? When you watch kids and their expression, sometimes it impacts on their play. And he's had great personal control thus far. You know, you just keep hanging in there and forcing the issue, and you'll get a call. This kid has really worked hard on his game, Armstrong. You know, he came in staying at his career. He'd been going to very low-priced hotels. He may own a Hilton before he's done, huh? The big upside. They've loved the way he's improved his game.
Well, in Peekskill, New York, he had a verbal commitment to LaSalle, your alma mater.
Exactly.
And then Jim Calhoun saw him in the summer tournament in Springfield, Mass. Here's Jensen, Appleby, back to Jensen. Brandon Roy kicks it out. Bobby Jones, yes.
Nice job by Roy. He knew he had the size advantage with Williams, but great presence of mind to kick it out.
Bobby Jones, the senior out of Compton, California, has 7 points. Appleby on Austrie defensively. Here's Armstrong. Williams pops out, takes another jumper.
And they got an offensive foul on Armstrong. Now, this is the play they ran twice late in the Kentucky game. It's a pin down and a guard around, and they get the offensive foul. Wow.
.114 to go before the break. Washington did lead by 10 at 40-30. Lorenzo Romar, time is called with 1:14 to go. Romar, the Washington graduate who came back home 4 years ago to lead his alma mater. And these two teams, both of whom score in the 80s per game. It's a 1 seed against a 5 seed. Mentioned a moment ago, they last met in 1998 in the Sweet 16. Rip Hamilton with a putback gave the UConn Huskies a 1-point edge. And Jim Calhoun said that game in '98 kind of set the plate for them in '99 when they won the national championship.
And really, of course, Rip Hamilton with the putback. I think Jake Fosco missed the shot.
Yes.
Big Jake was making a nice living with the Bobcats now.
Brandon Roy. Jensen, good look, but short with the shot.
Look at the hustle.
Dentman with the rebound, pumps, puts it up. That's very short.
I don't think he needed that, though. You got control, bring it back out. You're the point guard, and that's part of learning. Look over the top.
There's the trap, Bobby Jones. Armstrong, whoa, might have dragged the foot.
10 seconds. Look at, it's 10 before the foul, and they don't get the call.
They do not.
Wow. And Jim Calhoun again is in danger here. Patrick Adams not happy with him. George Blaney saying, I'll control it. And there's the great coaching right there. The former guard, Lorenzo Romar, talking to Denton about what shot to take, when to take it, time management, understanding where you are during the course of the game.
Hilton Armstrong at the line with 44.4 to go. And he has struggled at the line 2 of 6 now. UConn has shot 18 free throws in the first half.
That sort of bailed them out, too.
But they've only made 10. George Mason, big winner here. They jumped out to a 9-0 lead over Wichita State in the first game and won the game to advance to their first ever Elite Eight. Of course, they've won the first 3 games in the NCAA tournament history for the Patriots from Fairfax.
And the smiles on their faces. I mean, everybody's happy when you win, but it's extraordinary. The reality of it is extraordinary.
George Mason will take on the winner of this game. Here's Joel Smith for 3.
And look at the follow.
Elevates to get the rebound, and Roy can't hang on. And here comes UConn, 3-on-1. Marcus Williams whips it. And a foul from Smith, a hard foul.
I tell you, that shows you something about the big guy. Josh Bone can put him down with the best of them, and his hands are absolutely, look at that, a snap pass, a great defensive maneuver here. This is just high-powered basketball at its best. Oh, put the shoulder pads on, but how impressive is that sprint and then the giveaway by Smith?
Boone, clink. 11 of 20 at the line for UConn. Marcus Johnson, the freshman from Los Angeles, Westchester, is on the floor wearing number 1. It's Austrie, Johnson, Rashad Anderson. 1 of 2 this trip, and Boone has 10 points.
If you're watching, you want the last one with a chance maybe to tip it in. And of course, UConn trying to get a stop, maybe create some havoc and get one themselves.
Saw the disparity in free throw attempts, 7 to 21.
They're going to use that high five to let Roy turn the corner and create.
Jones, little pick and roll, 2 seconds to go. Appleby, can he get it up? Nope, they never got a shot off.
Great job defensively, taking the initial thrust of Roy away.
End of the first half, Washington by 5. We'll send you to Greg Gumbel in New York. After this message and a word from your local station, you're watching our 25th Road to the Final Four. Rudy Gay is back on the floor. Rudy Gay, it can be said, takes a sometimes laconic approach to this game. And in the first half, really, well, look at there. There's a yawn as if on cue. In the first half, 0 for 4 from the field, 1 for 2 free throws, 2 personal fouls, and a turnover in 10 minutes.
He reminded me of you listening to me with the yawn. But stifling, you know, I just think he needs some minutes, to be honest with you, Vern. Let him get in the flow a little bit. And Jim Calhoun starts seated and relaxed. So he may have just gotten everything out of him. Nice inside screen and a better defense.
Mike Jensen tried that entry pass from a long way out. Here's Brandon Roy, guarded by Denham Brown. Off the dribble, darts in, switches hands.
He's too tough. Too tough for Denham Brown, who's one of the extraordinary defenders. And here comes the full court pressure. He could just blow by him.
UConn is 29-3 for the year. They are 1-3 this season when trailing at half. The only game they've won was at home against LSU, and an offensive foul on Bobby Jones.
And Hilton Armstrong just offered it up. Maybe got himself a little too deep. You got to recognize it. But talking about ability, how about that? He's got either hand he can finish with, but extraordinary use of the bounce in traffic and great protection of the ball.
Bobby Jones just picked up his 3rd. John Brockman also has 3. Brockman is on the floor to start this half. The 3 games in which UConn was trailing at half and lost: at Marquette, at Villanova, and in the Big East tournament a week and a half ago against Syracuse. Marcus Williams, Hilton Armstrong. Armstrong guarded by Jensen.
And a nice little inside screen with Gay and Boone.
Here's Bobby Jones on Marcus Williams. There's Jensen to come and help. The tip is not good, and Bobby Jones draws the foul from Josh Boone. That's his 2nd.
Can't beat the effort, though. That time Williams gets in deep in the painted area. And, you know, it's funny. I'm sure in talking to his staff, just let's relax a little. Let's let them get into the flow.
Mike Jensen. Here's Brandon Roy.
Tough match.
Rashad Anderson. Roy.
Can't stop him. You know, this is a game where maybe Rudy Gay is the answer. Look at this steal by Jensen.
Now Armstrong is back. Jensen takes it up, not there. Brockman rejected. Brockman again, and Brockman's going to go to the line. Armstrong picked up the foul.
He did a great job and then continued to ride him out. All he had to do was hold his ground, but here's a tough look by Jensen. And how about Brockman, and out of nowhere, the great reaction. And there's that body underneath pushing Brockman just a little bit further from the rim.
John Brockman, the freshman from Snohomish, goes to the line to shoot 2. He is a 66% free throw shooter for the year.
As you noted in the first half, a prized recruit. I mean, every institution that is highly thought of in basketball was after him.
What is it in the water in the last decade in the Puget Sound that has caused this explosion of talent among college basketball players?
I don't know, but I wish my parents had gone out there years ago. Certainly would have helped me.
Well, mine did, and it didn't help me.
Well, you know, the first guy I remember, not ever, I'm not talking about Hubriggs and that gang.
Right.
When Quinn Snyder went to Duke, I mean, the era when I started coaching and all.
From Mercer Island High School in Washington. Jensen with the foul.
And speaking of that, Donnie Marshall came from Washington all the way back east, but you know, the ability to catch and pass the basketball is something the bigs have been able to do in a beautiful fashion for Jimmy Calhoun. And there's number 3 on Jensen. And that's what their power game does. It does wear on you and gets you in some foul problems.
Rudy Gay at the free throw line. He's 1 of 2 today. (51-43). Winner gets George Mason in the regional final on Sunday.
Anderson still has that matchup. Gay with the knock out of bounds.
Lorenzo Romar, Compton, California. He was at Cerritos Community College for 2 years before he enrolled at the University of Washington, got his degree from Cincinnati.
And a double dribble.
Double dribble.
And you know what I like about Lorenzo? He just said you did it to his player. You know, no gyrations.
Ryan Appleby out of Stanwood, Washington. Began his collegiate career a long way from home at the University of Florida. 1 year there. Sat out last year.
And they got another walk here by Austri.
My goodness.
Ooh.
Near the end of today's game, we'll select a Chevrolet player of the game from each team. Chevrolet will make a $1,000 contribution to each university's general scholarship fund. America's brand supports America's best, Chevy, and American Revolution.
I've heard Roy's very good without the ball as well as with it. They run a little double for him here. He keeps very active. They pin down on him, uses screens.
And he's being shadowed by Rashad Anderson. Here's Jensen from the corner, not there. Austri grabs the rebound, and he's got it. Bobby Jones will pick him up.
And Jones, terrific defender.
Bobby Jones did a great job on D. Brown of Illinois last weekend. Limited him to 5 of 18 shots.
What a great career he had, though, D.
Yes, he did.
And James Augustine and Bruce Weber's guys last couple of years have been extraordinary.
Rudy Gay, shot clock at 10. Oh, Rashad Anderson.
God, didn't catch it for her.
And here's Appleby. Bobby Jones, Appleby, Brandon Roy. Now Rudy Gay has him.
And he's got the size to get away from him. Look at that.
And with the block for Rudy Gay. Well, now there's a non-laconic approach to defense.
Well, you know, he's got it. There's no question about it. Where are you going? Where are you going?
Here's Jensen. Couldn't quite control the dribble. Gets it to Appleby. Bobby Jones, spot up. Nope. Rashad Anderson goes up for the ball.
He wants a timeout and he gets it. And a number of substitutions for Jim Calhoun to shake it up.
51-43. Washington by 8.
He does not recognize his guys, but now they've just got to relax and be comfortable and let the game flow for them. They can't force the issue.
19 turnovers, as you saw on the graphic. 12 field goals for UConn. So 7 more turnovers than they have field goals. Marcus Williams, Ed Nelson's back on the floor. Energetic minutes in the first half. And there's 20 turnovers now for the Huskies of UConn.
Not a bad idea, but a tough, not a catchable pass to the big fella, Josh
Brandon Roy finds Jamal Williams. Nelson puts a body on him, and the shot is short. Josh Boone with a rebound.
But when he gets a rebound, no one's getting it.
Marcus Williams. There's another turnover. That's 21. Here's Jamal Williams, and he'll bring it back outside. Dentman for 3. No. And Rudy Gay with a great job of blocking out Mike Jensen.
You know, the last turnover, I mean, what's Boone going to do with it once he steps and goes, Vern?
Time called. It's still an 8-point Washington lead. Back to place, 15:26 to go in the ball game. Season high turnovers for UConn, 23 against Arkansas. They have 21 in this ball game. Here's Denham Brown, in and out. Brandon Roy, he wants to run. And he's got Dentman, and there's the dish to Jamal Williams back outside, and they'll go with the half-court offense. Roy, quick off the dribble, nice pass. Dentman, how about that?
Beautiful penetration, gets by Williams, who didn't do a good job defensively. And then how about the high arcing release to negate the pressure D. Oh, this is just pretty solid basketball. They did not make a mistake on the entry by Roy. Good, solid basketball. Didn't force the issue. Ended up with a layup.
Second foul on Williams. Justin Dentman, who is the freshman, goes to the line, of course, taking the place of one of the most popular players in Husky history.
Yeah,
Nate Robinson. At 5'8", he led them to a #1 seed last year, did Robinson. And Washington lost in this round to Louisville in the Sweet 16 a year ago. Here they're trying to knock out the #1 seed, the UConn Huskies.
And they were a good team. Look at this great defense again by Dentman.
Dentman down, another turnover, that's 22. Here's Roy, beautiful ball fake, put back too hard, and UConn has it. Hilton Armstrong at the other end, they didn't see him. As Roy misses 2 from 2 feet away.
He carried there, got away with it. Wow, they off their game.
That equals the number of high turnovers and a foul called on Marcus Williams.
And he's a little bit frustrated too. And I think he's going to go out. Let's see. And they're going to have to get Austria in too as well, just to get some point direction.
Third personal foul on Marcus Williams. He has 5 turnovers in this game.
And usually excellent with the basketball. You can see the sense of frustration there. This is not the same team, but I'll tell you, Washington is taking it to him. Nice hands by Austria. Oh, that's a takedown.
Yeah, Brandon Roy went for the ball, and it gets the foul as Austria is hit from behind. That's the second foul on Brandon Roy.
Saves the basket, though. Pretty heads-up play. Because if I get it, fine. If not, what the heck? They're not going to get the easy deuce.
Rudy Gay, Craig Austria. Substitution now as John Brockman's coming back from Mike Jensen for Washington. As Lorenzo Romar makes that switch. Austria, Gay, Boone, Armstrong, and Rashad Anderson.
And look where they're starting. This is one thing they do well. They force you out on the floor, Washington.
There's a double team, baseline. Nice.
Well, he went away from the traffic. What a heady play. That's the type of move you're accustomed to with Rudy Gay.
And on the floor for the University of Washington. Oh, he traveled. Yes, he did.
Almost unforced, too, wasn't it?
Yeah. 11 turnovers for Washington now. Contrasted with the 23 for UConn and a sense of urgency in the UConn stands. 53, 45.
Looking for Gay with the pin down. They get a hold. And now Roy and he are chatting. They
Technical foul
on both of them.
Both of them. Double technical. Rudy Gay and Brandon Roy.
So now Roy has 3 fouls. And you add the one to Rudy Gay.
Double technical.
They both have 3 now, Vern.
Yes. And Lorenzo Romar calls his squad over, the 5. He wants to have a little chat with them. The UConn kids stay away from the bench. That's interesting. Look at this. That's really interesting. Well, they're the 5 for Washington. There's Jim Calhoun, and his 5 guys are out on the floor 20 feet away.
Well, did you rush home when you knew your parents were mad at you?
Not a chance.
I'll tell you, though,
Lorenzo Romar wants to talk. I'm not sure what he's...
Over the he probably just learned maybe that there was a technical assessed as well.
To both, I see. Let me try and be kind. This officiating crew has not been in control of this game.
No, and Lorenzo's upset too.
The personal foul is on Roy. Then there are technicals on Gay and Roy, so that gives Roy 4 fouls. That's why he's upset.
That was the 3rd, plus the technical's the 4th, and it's a dead ball technical.
previous play, there was a personal foul charged against Washington's number 3, Brandon Roy, and also a technical foul.
Wow is right.
Washington's number 3, Brandon Roy. It was a technical foul.
He lost with the technicals, was the personal foul.
Timeout called by UConn. 13:48 to go. Time call. Lorenzo Romar joins Jim Calhoun in a state of agitation over the officiating this evening. Double technical after the personal foul on Brandon Roy, so he is on the bench with 4 fouls.
I'm sorry, Vern. My only complaint is I think they could have stopped it without the technical fouls.
Marcus Williams and a foul on Denton.
In other words, that kind of a situation, you jeopardize, in a sense, Roy with the 4 fouls, changes the way they're going to play and coach. You know, it wasn't, they were in one of those phases, just go over and say, hey guys, knock it off. We can't, and one more time, we're going to have to call it. But sometimes there's a whiplash reaction to these situations, and the way the game has been strained and the tempers flying, you know, I'm sure the officials want to make sure nothing damaging happens. 7th
team foul on the University of Washington. Marcus Williams now 3 of 3 at the free throw line. And it's a 7-point game, 13:33 to go.
And now you got to wait with Roy for quite a while.
Yes. At what point do you think about bringing him back?
You know, it depends as the score goes. You know,
right.
If all of a sudden they get under 10 and looks like UConn's on a run, I think he'll go with him. But I think he'll hold him as long as he can. He being Lorenzo Romar.
Jamal Williams back in the hands of his young point guard, Justin Dentman. Underneath, Jamal Williams out of the double team. Bobby Jones.
Nice hands.
Hilton Armstrong with a steal.
Maybe put it on the floor, it may have worked.
Here comes Marcus Williams. Jumper for 3.
Who else, huh? The dagger guy. Jim Calhoun said he's never had anybody that makes more big, deep jump shots than the dagger man. Rashad Anderson, a quick timeout.
A 10-2 UConn run. They are within 3. It's Rashad Anderson from the corner. UConn has scored 8 unanswered, gotten 7 unanswered, right back in this thing, and they have 23 turnovers. But despite that, they now trail by only 3 to the University of Washington.
And a big turnabout with Roy getting the technical as well as Gay. And Roy adding the personal and the technical went from 2 to 4. And all of a sudden, Lorenzo Romar, a lot of things taken out of his hands, and he's going to have to patch it up. And Brandon's looking up thinking, when will I get an opportunity?
He's been out of the game for 1 minute now. Here's Jamal Williams, beautiful spin move. Oh, that was pretty.
And a nice call from the bench, too. A little ISO on the big fella, put it on the deck.
Williams has 12. Here's Marcus Williams. Rashad Anderson again for 3.
You got to play him. I mean, Marcus had a free entree coming down the floor. Williams, and then the on the platter delivery for Rashad.
And now a 2-point game. Look at the 3-point shooting for UConn. 8 of 11.
Tough shot
at the other end. Yep. Brockman picked up another foul.
Is that 4?
That's 4 on him.
Well, when you get it on time and you're a good shooter, you dream about these situations in rhythm. Get the puppies organized and then just knock it down. This kid, ice water, and a point guard that puts it on there on a daily basis.
Rudy Gay is at the line. Roy and Brockman with 4 apiece. Dentman, Jones, and Williams have 3. Sense of desperation for the Washington Huskies. With NCAA March Madness on demand, you can watch live tournament games from outside of your viewing area on your computer for free. Sign up now at ncaasports.com/MMOD.
The waiting game right now.
A chance for the tie. The foul on Roy and the double technical called with 13:48 to go in this game. He gets both free throws, and we are tied. It was 53-45 at the time of the technical. And this is the first tie in this game since we were at 24 each.
And Vern, Appleby in the game is a guy that can bite you, and Williams doesn't pay attention all the time on the defensive end. How about that post entry, huh? Terrific job.
Beautiful pass by Dentman, and then the turnaround, Jamal Williams. Here's Bowman.
The gamble. You can't gamble. And Dentman told Bobby Jones, what are you doing? You open up that, you sell out like that. It's an easy delivery.
Boone has 12, traveling. Dentman dragging his foot again. Jamal Williams screaming at him. Tournament's not any fun, is it? Tie here, 57 all. Tie Georgetown and Florida, 44 all.
That's terrific.
It's a great mosaic and a celebration, and stories like the George Mason victory earlier, just really something to enjoy.
And be part of, right?
Yeah, you bet.
And you know he's not enjoying it right now, Lorenzo Romar, because he's got to bide his time, figure out when he puts Roy back in. And I think he'll wait for a couple more minutes, unless UConn really breaks this quickly.
We saw LSU last night against Duke. Glenn Davis with 4 fouls, played quite some time in that game. 11-10 to go in this one. Marcus Williams guarded by Dentman.
And Bobby Jones has done a nice job. Look at where they are with 12 on the clock.
Rashad Anderson, Appleby in his face. And Bobby Jones goes up. Hell ball, possession arrow goes UConn's way.
Yeah, good call. Both of them on it. And did you notice the defense that time? Appleby right up and under the shot. You got to force him to put it on the deck. He's going to burn you if you give him open looks.
Under 11 to go, tied at 57.
And Vern, historically, UConn has been terrific scoring on inbounds plays under the basket. They got a good look earlier for Denham Brown, who is, I believe, not in the game right now. This might be designed for Gay.
He pops out, gets the screen from Armstrong, muscles his way in. Ball is on the floor, picked up by Dentman. Here comes Washington, left side, Jensen. Marcus Williams was back defensively.
Yeah, good hustle, and then they switch back. I think Appleby's got to get busy, get Williams to be running. And here they just, nice flare screen by him. Look at this kid can shoot it. You give him an open look like that. Good job.
He has converted 30 more threes than Brandon Roy, who's second on the list. Rudy Gay, my goodness.
Unbelievable. Impressive. Great hops and great use of step moves.
We near the midway point of the second half, and a 1-point Washington lead. Gay is in double figures now with 10. He had 1 point at the break.
Oh, they got a 3-second call. Oh my goodness, on Bobby Jones. Wow.
Rudy Gay.
Well, you all know what he can do. This is an extraordinary talent. He can make that jump shot, that rainbow delivery he has, so you go out and hug him, puts it on the deck, and just extraordinary ups.
Did I just hear you say, y'all know?
Well, those people who watch this guy.
You are a New Jersey guy, and you're using a Texas phrase.
I put it together. It must be late.
You said, y'all know. I love that. Underneath, Armstrong.
A nice high-low, and Williams with the delivery.
61-60, UConn. First lead since midway through the first half. At one point, they were down by 10. They were down by 8 when the double technical foul was called on Rudy Gay and Brandon Roy. Here's Bobby Jones with the spin. Up, under, ouch. Put back good.
How about the hustle by him? Because you know when you pull the string and it's going to be short.
Marcus Williams rejected. Jamal Williams.
They said he plays bigger than 6'6". This one could be in Richmond. Keep it in play. Terrific penetration negated. Oh, a little softer. You might be going the other way.
Marcus Williams getting ready to inbound. Rashad Anderson is on for Rudy Gay.
This is more of a rest substitute,
right,
versus some of the other maybe a chastisement substitute.
Yeah, this is not the hook.
No.
Get it into Rashad Anderson. Over Appleby, in and out. Loose ball, Jensen rebound.
Too many white shirts there. Didn't communicate.
At the other end, Denham Brown. And it's picked up by Rashad Anderson. Williams, Anderson, Armstrong. Oh, my.
A little reach around. Nick Dimer, you know, you're used to playing a guy maybe closer to the hoop, even though he's an extraordinary defender. Gave it up deep.
That was an F.W. Woolworth.
Very good. You had a unit account there also, huh?
Bobby Jones picks up 4. Joel Smith is back on.
Washington substitution number 0, Joel Smith.
Desperate foul trouble for the University of Washington.
Marcus Williams,
62-61, 9:02 to go.
And very positive on the sideline. Lorenzo Romar with his guys.
Well, coming up tomorrow, LSU against Texas. It's a 4 versus a 2 in Atlanta. Tip time of 4:40 Eastern. And then in Oakland, UCLA against Memphis. A 2 versus a 1. Tip time of 7:05.
You mentioned Davis earlier, just an extraordinary player with Thomas behind him to block shots. We didn't see him during the SEC tournament, but we saw early in the year against UConn. He blocked a couple of Josh Boone shots around the rim. They were dunks that were utterly incredible. And Williams gets a blow now. Sort of a different pep right now in the UConn step.
Tyrus Thomas we're talking about for LSU. Winner of this one gets George Mason, the Patriots, Sunday. 63-62 UConn, 8:50 to go. Denton, here's Appleby. Can't shake loose of Rashad Anderson. Jamal Williams in the lane, not there. Joel Smith did a great job to keep that ball in play.
A nice run down by Jensen.
Entry pass, Jamal Williams. Little fadeaway and a foul.
They must have got the body in there earlier. They were going inside, and Williams responds. He's got that long reach, but right now Nelson coming in, and I think just to create a little energy, a little havoc out there for UConn.
That's going to be the second foul on Armstrong. Lorenzo Romar wanted his kids to really enjoy this trip, and Washington's in a spring break. So they came back a day early. They brought the squad back here on Tuesday, saw the state capitol. They also went to a spy museum. And in the spy museum, there are all kinds of exhibits, one of which was an exhibit of air conditioning ducts and how they have played a part in espionage over the years. Well, they heard a loud noise, and Jamal Williams and Bobby Jones had crawled up and were in the air conditioning ducts. They experienced it firsthand.
But get smart.
Oh, gosh. John Brockman on for Williams, who's had a fine, fine game.
Well, they are just hanging tough, handling the clock so that Roy does not have to come. They can save his energy and that one foul.
Brandon Roy has been on the bench for the last 5 minutes with 4 fouls. Ed Nelson.
Well, Jensen is strong in there with Armstrong. He just pushed him out of the box area.
Denham Brown, there's Brockman. There's Ed Nelson. He'll go to the free throw line.
He just comes in and does a job. And his attitude, you've been a starter and in some cases a star as a rookie at Georgia Tech, and not getting the minutes with the talent load or talent laden UConn team, but carving up area with that big body.
Ed Nelson at the free throw line. 71% shooter for the year. Well, this is the third game between teams with the same nickname. UCLA against Belmont, those are the Bruins. Villanova against Arizona, the Wildcats, and of course Kentucky was in the same location. We have Huskies and Huskies. The Big East is 10-5, the Pac-10 6-2. Remember we talked about the 3 Division I teams?
You've got
Northern
more?
Illinois. Well, there's some others. Huskies. Here's Nelson to break the tie.
Look at him hustle.
And he gets the rebound. How about that? It's all hustle with Nelson. Anderson, no. Jensen with a rebound.
Now, all you want, a number of opportunities that Nelson provided that trip.
Dentman, Brockman, Jensen set the screen for Joel Smith. Oh, reach-in foul on Denham Brown. That's his third. Time called. 7:45 remaining. 64 all, 7:45 remaining in this game. 1998 East Regional Semifinal was a battle to finish between these two. Donald Watts' three from the left wing put them up 74-73. Just under 30 seconds to play, and Richard Hamilton's buzzer beater. I was on a radio show at KJR in Seattle this morning with Mitch Levy. He said, do me and all Husky fans, Washington Husky fans, a favor. Don't show us the highlights of that game again tonight.
And that's how much control you have, right?
Yes. Yeah. Well, it was heartbreak for Washington, of course, and as we said, Jim Calhoun credits that game with getting his kids to believe they could succeed. And, of course, Khalid El-Amin and Richard Hamilton and the whole bunch won the national championship in 1999. They also won in 2004. This Washington team has only been to one Final Four. That was in 1953. How about that pass?
Gorgeous look. That was Todd McCulloch's group, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. First then went on to New Jersey Nets and Philadelphia. Thalo Green, I remember, did some of their games that year.
That's the fourth foul on Jensen. So they have, let's see, Brockman with 4, Jensen with 4. In and out for Josh Boone. Brandon Roy has been sitting now for the better part of 6 minutes with 4 fouls.
And if they can hang in under 4, I think he'll go that long. Big thing is he's got to be loose and ready. He's the kind of a kid that can just put this team on his shoulder coming down the stretch.
0 for 2 for Josh Boone. He is not an effective free throw shooter. 7:30 to go in this one. 6 of 11 for Boone now.
They've been able to use Williams in the post area, even despite the size differential.
Here's Boone chasing Dentman. Back to Joel Smith, and Appleby has it.
A nice ball fake, huh?
Off the front rim, and a great job by the freshman Dentman to track that down. Now the dribble penetration, back outside, Jamal Williams.
Vern, he ran from the 3-second line to half court and beat everybody to the ball, Dentman.
Williams guarded by Boone. Up, under, and in.
How pretty. And that kid plays confidently despite giving up 3 or 4 inches.
Marcus Williams, left side, Rashad Anderson, clear path to the basket, foul.
And a terrific job holding off in the post area. Just opened up that baseline for Anderson, who loves to shoot it, but can put it on the floor. I just love the way you set yourself up, set the defender up, and then drop step, a little kiss on the release.
Might have heard a reaction. It's because Brandon Roy is getting ready to re-enter the game. So he went out with 13:48 to go, and if you joined us late, he went out because he picked up his 3rd foul and then got face-to-face with Rudy Gay. A double technical was called by the official Steve Skiles. That, of course, is a 4th foul, and now Brandon Roy is back on the floor. Look at that list on the left side.
Oh, that's unbelievable. Everybody better stay ready. And interesting, Roy's coming in where they're going to be on the offensive end, so he can get into the flow a little. Let's see what UConn does to counter that.
Denham Brown makes a reappearance. He replaces Rashad Anderson. Now let's see, it's going to be Denham Brown on Brandon Roy.
And he's been stretching a little bit, Roy, as he came down the floor just to get himself loose. They got to reverse the ball, give him a couple of touches. Don't shoot it quickly.
See the disparity in free throw attempts, 34 to 14. UConn has attempted 34 tonight.
And the free throw is going to be a bugaboo or a blessing come tournament time.
Jamal Williams. They clear out. He goes in the lane short. Josh Boone with the rebound. UConn with the chance to tie or take the lead. Penetration by Williams. Joel Smith rebound. Washington, held ball, possession arrow, Washington.
Well, he does a great job getting to the rim, Williams, and just couldn't finish it. He's got that deceptive speed. You know, the baggy pants, the long shorts. Looks like he can't motor at all. Oh. He's got a little engine under there.
Yes, he does. 68-66, under 6 to go. Winner gets George Mason on Sunday. Regional final. Brockman.
With the dribble now. He's terrific with his drop step.
Rudy Gay reaches. He goes to the baseline. Loose ball picked up by Williams. Oh, what an alert play.
Absolutely. Right on top of it. And that's an indicator for you. Anything loose they've been coming up with.
Back to a 4-point edge. 5.5 remaining in this one.
And Detman trying to keep the head out of the game. The head being Williams.
Detman on Marcus Williams. Hilton Armstrong. Marcus Williams for 3. Air ball. Denham Brown puts it back.
And that's because of the activity. They had screened down for Rudy Gay.
Now Brockman, the freshman from Snohomish. Dentman, the freshman from Carbondale, Illinois. There's Roy. And he'll go to the free throw line as Boone gets the foul.
Nice movement there by Roy. Good slip to the goal. And here's the hustle play you alluded to, Vern. I mean, just on the spot. Mentioned his ability around the rim, and down the other end, they had screened down to bring Gay to the foul line, and in the proper position, Denham Brown able to clean it up.
At the line for Washington, number 3.
Remember how much our conversation centered on the number of UConn turnovers? They got to 23 early in this half. They've not turned it over now in the last 9 minutes and 30 seconds.
Not bad. They didn't realize there were 2 shots.
Well, ever alert.
Hey, you never know.
Don't pass up an opportunity.
Tonight might be a night you get away with it.
Sounds like somebody I know at last call. Names will not be mentioned.
Absolutely. Protect the innocent.
4:55 to go in the ball game. Roy got to go. 3-point game. Washington Huskies against the UConn Huskies. It's a 5 versus a 1.
And Roy is very good setting you up for steal. Brown's got to be careful on a crossover.
Williams goes for the steal and got a foul.
And how about that read by Detman? Just slipped in there. Whew. Quick. My goodness.
That's the 4th. Excuse me, Bill.
Just pilferage with some haste.
Pilferage, I like.
How about that?
Look at this list now. Justin Dentman just picked up his 4th foul. 6 Washington players. 6 with 4 fouls. And Marcus Williams at the line. He's now 7 for 7.
Well, everybody's got to tighten the laces on the Husky bench. The Washington Huskies, they may be used. Start stretching those limbs.
Marcus Williams still perfect at the line. 71-70, 4:40 to go.
Now, Vern, you expected a lot of points. Both teams get up there 81, roughly 82.
And Jamal Williams with another terrific low post move.
Boy, are they riding him, and why not?
4:22 to go, 73-70. Marcus Williams to Hilton Armstrong.
And look at them, and he's not going to let Williams get it back if he can help it.
Rudy Gay, jump stop, perfect.
Connecticut field goal by number 22, Rudy Gay.
Gay with 12, 73-72.
That's a giveaway there by Boone as Roy really turned the corner and got to the rim. He's great without it, setting his man up. You trail him, and then the help he takes advantage of.
Washington Huskies lead the UConn Huskies by 1 with 3:56 to go. The pivotal point in this second half occurred at 3:48 remaining in the game when Brandon Roy, the star for the Washington Huskies, picked up his 3rd foul. He got face-to-face with Rudy Gay. A double technical was called at that point. That became Brandon Roy's 4th foul. He sat for 6 minutes. Lorenzo Romar kept things in order. University of Washington had an 8-point lead at that time. UConn came back and took a 1-point edge, and we've been on a seesaw ever since. But Brandon Roy back on the floor now. He plays with 4 fouls. He is one of 6 Washington players, Bill Raftery, who have 4 fouls.
And with him, his overview of the game is what makes him so valuable because he involves other people. They just ran a nice screen, made a terrific cut, got shoved for this opportunity for the free throws.
And Roy misses the free throw. 1-point game, 3:52 to go. The winner gets George Mason here on Sunday. George Mason, a winner over Wichita State earlier. And there is a loose ball, Mike Jensen.
And I think Jones got his hands in on Gay, and it ended up with Jensen. Just great sleight of hand.
Bobby Jones, number 15 for Washington. Here's Roy Jensen. Bobby Jones for 3, no. Rebound, Marcus Williams.
Oh, no.
Gay at the other end. Brandon Roy got back and got the steal. That is the 24th turnover for UConn, a season high, and Brandon Roy converts, and Washington leads by 3.
Did you see the hesitation? It froze the big people and then explode to the rim. Just magnificent.
We near the 3-minute mark. Marcus Williams for 3, off the mark.
Well, hold on and have your cup of tea, Vern Lundquist, because you can have one. That hesitation just froze the big, the blow by, and his ability with either hand, as you know, he's ambidextrous or amphibious in your neighborhood.
Yeah, he's amphibious. Washington leads 75-72. Timeout, Washington.
He's mad about Williams' shot. Just went.
Okay.
Vern, I think it was this guy that on the team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just, I didn't want to say anything to you. So doesn't matter.
2:51 to go. The Washington Huskies lead UConn, a 5 seed against a 1 by 3. Washington with 2 timeouts left. UConn has 1. Washington with 10 fouls. The disparity in free throws has been amazing. UConn has been to the line in excess of 35 times. 36, as a matter of fact, 24 of 36. And the Huskies, there's the save, and Rudy Gay can't hang on.
And Denton doing his job, balancing the floor, gets back in the right position. Because the free throw is almost like a pretty good defensive weapon if UConn can't make them, Vern. Nice back screen. And Roy with Gay on him.
Denton, the freshman from Carbondale, Illinois. Here's Jamal Williams.
No, not a good one.
That one's knocked out of bounds by Rashad Anderson. 2:24 to go. Lorenzo Romar's team led by 10 in the first half. It was a 5-point Washington Husky edge at the break. They were up by 8 when the double technical fouls were called. And they lead by 3 with 2:20 to go.
And Roy very clever. And Roy's going to have to concentrate on the defensive end. Look at him step and dart. And this is where he's good. Loves to drop step off the dribble.
Rudy Gay on him defending.
Yeah.
15 on the shot clock, and we have 2 minutes remaining in this regional semifinal. Jamal Williams. Oh my goodness.
Is that big? A little dagger. Beats you inside and come on out of the neighborhood.
How do you do?
He has worked on that shot. You read those notes. Went home and kept practicing it.
Marcus Williams, 1:35 to go. Washington by 6. Rashad Anderson.
Tough shot.
Air ball. Saved by Jamal Williams. Mike Jensen tries to find a teammate.
And he got a push, or he's out of bounds? Out of bounds. Jamal Williams, a guy that's been inside doing some damage. But how about this one? You got the big guy arcing it, may come down wet, but the nylon separates. Beautiful, confident stroke, huh?
His season high is 26. He's got 25 tonight.
Guy that doesn't go outside that often either. You know what I mean? He's a kid that'll make the deep 2. 0 for 1, right? Coming
That's
in.
his second three-point attempt this year.
Exactly. But he has worked on that and hundreds of shots at home.
Marcus Williams, a foul call. (78-72). Bobby Jones has just become the first Husky to foul out. I say just the first because 6 players had 4. He's now got 5. Bobby Jones, defensive specialist, 9 points.
And they were smiling over there when Williams came to the huddle. Oh, goodness, a little blessing from deep. This team hung in despite these foul problems, and particularly Roy with the foul and technical burn.
Brandon Roy joined by Dentman, Smith, and Brockman, 4 each. 78-72, 1:16 to go. A year ago, as a number 1 seed, the Huskies were knocked out by Louisville in the round of Sweet 16. Now they try to do the same to the top-seeded UConn Huskies. UConn 29 wins, 3 defeats. Both these teams losers early in their respective conference tournaments. As a matter of fact, that was the case with George Mason and Wichita State earlier. Boone is 6 of 11 at the line. That one did not look good at all.
It does bite you come tournament time. He's got to lean in, sort of pulling away, bend the knees.
1 of 2.
Extend the pressure now. 2-2-1, something Jim Calhoun did back in his early days of coaching.
And they get it in the hands of Brandon Roy across the timeline. 5-point game, 2 possessions. And we near the 1-minute mark of the regional semifinal. Brandon Roy, guarded by Rashad Anderson.
And waiting in the back is Armstrong, just in case he turns the corner. There's that spread. He can turn and find or finish himself.
Little crossover, dishes outside. Jensen, that's off the mark. Rebound, Hilton Armstrong, UConn. 42 seconds to go, a 5-point margin. Here's Marcus Williams. Dishes, Rashad Anderson, the assassin.
Unbelievable. You've got to know where he is at crunch time.
2-point game.
Jimmy wants him to foul.
Justin Denton brings it back outside. And Marcus Williams fouls him.
Wow, the separation here, Vern, away from Anderson is just too far, and Williams knows. His eyes light up at this time of the basketball game. He'll close out late.
At the line for Washington, number 5, Justin Dentman, shooting.
Justin Dentman, the freshman, an 81% free throw shooter for the season. Earlier this year, he had 20 in a row. He's 2 for 3 tonight.
How about him, huh?
Double bonus, so he gets another. Josh Boone out, Denham Brown back in. This will make it ostensibly a 2-possession game. There's always the possibility of a 3-point basket with a foul.
You know, all the foul problems in the backcourt, Jim Calhoun was signaling to give the foul, and they didn't take advantage of it. It took too much time.
Got them both. Washington leads by 4, 21.2 to go. Time call. 21.2 remaining. Washington by 4 over UConn. Both teams with a timeout left. Both teams in the double bonus, and the possession arrow points UConn's way.
Interesting enough, now you've got to be ready as players too. If you're going to give a foul, you've got to know when the coach wants to give it. That didn't happen. Now they can go for the deuce. They don't need the 3. Something quick, inbound, trap, give the foul right away. So they got plenty of time to do the damage.
Hilton Armstrong will inbound it. They choose not to guard the inbound pass. Here's Denham Brown. No pressure really as Dentman backs up. 15. Here's Marcus Williams.
Go to the rim.
All the way. There's Jensen.
And a foul. So they get the 3 anyhow with Jensen. goodness. I thought Anderson was looking for the 3 out there on the perimeter. And that, if you miss that, the game is over.
Jensen has fouled out. And here is the basket and the foul on Mike Jensen.
How about that, huh? Smart, heady play. Brown brought it up, and between he and Anderson looked like they were both looking for 3. Williams finally got his hands on it and then blew by and took it to the rim.
UConn trailing by 2. Marcus Williams perfect at the free throw line tonight. Mike Jensen has become the second Washington Husky to foul out. 1998, these two teams met in the Sweet 16. Richard Hamilton with a putback on a miss by Jake Boskel gave UConn a 75-74 win. And now Marcus Williams trying to make this a 1-point game with 11 seconds to go. He's been terrific in the first 2 games against Albany and Kentucky at the free throw line.
And everybody on the floor, pretty good free throw shooter for Washington. If that, the giveaway is right away. Jamal Williams at 66, maybe the lowest.
Marcus Williams out, Craig Austrie in. And full court pressure now with 11 to go. Brandon Roy, Dentman, Appleby, Jamal Williams on the floor. Here's Brandon Roy, finds Appleby, back to Brandon Roy.
Why didn't they give it the corner? You've got to be ready. I mean, Appleby's 78%, but you don't have a time to pick anybody. Instead of 3, you know, it should be at least 3 more seconds on the clock.
And if you're a Washington fan, whom would you rather have on the line than Brandon Roy, Pac-10 Player of the Year? Tonight, however, less than perfect. 3 of 5. Washington leads by 1 with 7.9. Here's the senior at the line as Josh Boone and Ed Nelson look on. Oh,
soft. 81%. And now you need your speed dribble. And we have seen teams get it up in 3 seconds. 3 and 3.1. Texas, I'm thinking of against West Virginia the other night.
It's a 3-point game. Here's the inbound pass. Marcus Williams has it. 5 in the game. Rashad Anderson with Appleby.
Oh, goodness!
1.8 left. Appleby for the win. No! Overtime.
How good is this? The daggers in his holster throughout his career have been utterly extraordinary. You've got to know Verdi's you can't let him catch it. You got to deny the ball from him. You can't give him that opportunity to even get a clean look. The kid is extraordinary, and a great look down here. Just a little bit late on the coverage, and you can't beat that look by Ryan Appleby. Ooh.
And I thought Ryan Appleby had pretty good defense on Rashad Anderson.
Yeah.
Oh, baby. Tied at 82 on Rashad Anderson's 5th three-pointer of the game. A year ago, Rashad Anderson desperately ill with a staph infection, missed 9 games. Now back as a senior from Lakeland, Florida, and hits a huge 3. Rudy Gay will jump. No, I'll say. Jamal Williams didn't even leave his feet.
Great respect.
Now Rudy Gay, guarded by Brandon Roy.
There's that little shuffle cut and then the pin down again. Roy's got to be careful. He held on to Gay. Gay's got to keep active.
Appleby, this time he misses Anderson. And it's in the hands of Dentman, the freshman point guard. Here's Brandon Roy.
Usually with the dribble, that's where he's most effective.
Dentman back outside.
I see Gay to go to work here.
Dentman Little floater, no. Tipped, saved by Jamal Williams. Washington, fresh 35.
They tried to induce the foul and went into the man. He's not going to get that. It could actually be called against him.
We played a minute, no score.
Look at the hesitation.
Off the glass and good.
Boy, clever. This kid steps up, doesn't he, late in games? Marcus Williams to the 10.
Well, he put this team on his back against Albany, against Kentucky. UConn now has its first lead since it was 63-62, and the freshman John Brockman with the up and under.
And Gay never saw him. Armstrong, he blew by, but Gay was so intent on Roy, never got vision on the ball.
Skip pass, Anderson was there. Drives to the hoop and puts it in.
Hold on, Vern. Wide open right now.
Roy gets a screen from Jamal Williams. Armstrong comes to help. The tip is good.
How about that? Brockman right at the rim.
Under 3 to go in overtime. Here's Rashad Anderson. Appleby again defending him. Detman on Marcus Williams.
Oh, what a tough call. That is a tough call. The bump.
Marcus Williams is down.
I hope it's just fatigue, Vern. Watch the legs get caught up there. See that? And that, the official has to call it because it ultimately could cause a turnover. And hopefully he'll be okay. I just think he got a little bit whacked around, plus the fatigue of such a difficult encounter.
Justin Dentman becomes the third Washington Husky to foul out of the ball game. And Marcus Williams heads to the bench a little gimpy.
How about this? Oh,
Washington has lost 3. They've got 2 more playing with 4, including the star of the team, Brandon Roy, and the freshman, John Brockman.
Boy, have they held it together, though. Just a resilient group playing so long without their star. I mean, let's see which way they go now.
Washington substitution, number 11, Brandon Burmeister.
Marcus Williams still trying to walk off the injury.
Brandon Burmeister coming in.
He's a junior from Mercer Island, Washington, number 11.
Played pretty well in their Oregon State game. And a big assist to Roy, a steal.
Denham Brown is going to go to the line.
Well, you have that choice. Remember, if your player is injured,
right?
You as the coach can decide who shoots the free throws. So, Brown, very talented deep shooter, as we said, 86% from the free throw line. So it's a pretty fortunate set of circumstances.
Of course, Marcus Williams has been perfect at the line tonight. Now,
Lorenzo Romar wants to know why he's shooting.
Appleby is getting ready to come back on the floor for the Washington Huskies. Here's Denham Brown, the senior from Toronto. First free throw attempt this evening, and he shoots 2.
And Marcus, by the way, Williams at 84%. No slacker either.
Marcus Williams still walking up and down in front of the UConn bench. Denham Brown, one more. 2:41 to go in OT.
James Duran, the trainer, taking care of him.
UConn by 2. It's Roy, Appleby, Burmeister, Jamal Williams, and Brockman on the floor for the Washington Huskies.
And they're better when Roy's off the ball. Excuse me, Vern. And that's when they're better. When he's active and then catches it where he can curl and turn.
Brockman on Ed Nelson.
How about him taking over, huh? That's 2 big plays by Brockman. One, he gets right to the rim, and that time turns that burly body around and takes the hit.
Over the course of the season, 66% free throw shooter. He's 2 for 2 tonight. Out of Snohomish, Washington. One of the prize recruits in the last 20 years for the Washington Huskies. He shoots one more. Now Burmeister's back for Washington, replacing Appleby. Marcus Williams is back on the floor for UConn, along with Rudy Gay and Hilton Armstrong. And Brockman shoots one more for the top.
Number 11, Hilton Armstrong. Number 22, Rudy Gay.
Josh Boone. UConn by 1.
And with Roy on Williams, they let Brown bring it up. He initiates the offense.
Joel Smith on Rudy Gay. Here's Boone. Back outside to Marcus Williams. Hilton Armstrong fights for position. Brockman fronting him. Here's Denham Brown. Good defense by Burmeister. Rudy Gay off the dribble. Short.
And Brockman offered up his body despite the 4.
Brandon Roy.
Oh, that should be good. Should be good. That should be good. Oh,
wow.
That should be score the goal. Oh.
Marcus Williams, timeout, UConn.
Is it on the way down? Yup. Turn the corner. What a tough break for Washington and Lorenzo Romar.
Check the 5 on the floor for UConn now. It's going to be Rudy Gay, Marcus Williams, Rashad Anderson, who's 3 with 1.8 seconds left, put us in overtime. Boone and Armstrong, the bigs.
And I think it's got to go through Gay. And he's pretty good too, using a curl or a down screen. Let's see if they get him involved. Here's the down screen for him.
Brandon Roy on Marcus Williams.
Why didn't he give it to him?
Armstrong.
Whoa! How about that maneuver by the big guy? And Williams with the presence to keep the dribble alive and then the fine.
Little mid-course correction by Hilton Armstrong. And UConn leads by 3, 1 minute to go in overtime. Jamal Williams backs in on Boone.
Tough shot, huh? He's got that size and herky-jerky delivery. They got a little clock issue here, I think. Let's see. John Higgins over to take a look at something.
That is a season high for Jamal Williams of 27 points.
And when Roy went out, they rode him, if you recall, Vern. They got him a couple of post-ups and, of course, the deep jumper as well.
Brandon Roy had to sit from the 13:48 mark until about 6 minutes to go in the ball game, having picked up a personal foul and a technical foul. We want to check the time remaining now when the ball went through.
A couple of seconds, I guess, huh?
It appeared that way. 90-89, 47.7 now. We're going to check again.
Yeah, it should stop right there. We get it right, and every precious second we have found out can be utilized.
Rashad Anderson with his 5th 3 tied this up and sent it to overtime. That 3-point shot came with 1.8 seconds to go. Now with 51.4 is the reset time. They put 4 seconds back. And UConn leads by 1, 90-89. Marcus Williams, Rudy Gay, Rashad Anderson, Armstrong and Boone, the same 5. And for Washington, Brockman, Jamal Williams, Burmeister's on the floor, Joel Smith, and Brandon Roy. There's a 16-second differential, shot clock, game clock.
And Roy almost came up with the steal on Williams. Look at this kid. Look at this kid. How sweet is that little kiss for UConn? And Roy did a great job in the backcourt, but never turned him once as they went down, proceeded down the floor.
Marcus Williams at 24. Here's Brandon Roy, leans in, doesn't get the roll. There's the shot by Williams, not there again. And who's going to get this one?
The other way, and it's, that is the right call. Boone had inside position and went over his back.
Williams picks up his 4th.
And Roy thought he had the roll on this one. Now here's the one on the follow, Vern. See? 24, it was the right call.
Yes.
Good call, Jamal Williams.
Armstrong goes to the line. He's only 3 of 7 tonight. Trying to make this a 2-possession game with 24-4 left on the clock. And 1. Now Appleby, the 3-point specialist, getting ready to come in. Washington calls timeout. 93-89, UConn leading Washington. This one has been a thriller. We have 24-4 remaining. Both teams with a timeout, both teams in the double bonus, and Hilton Armstrong at the line. This will be the 43rd free throw attempt for UConn tonight.
Unbelievable.
43. They've only hit 29 of them.
They have not shot well.
Armstrong gets them both.
Now they've got to force Washington to use clock and be sound, don't foul. And look at this kid push the ball. What a nice dish.
Back to Appleby for 3. Yes!
Is that great coaching? Unbelievable. Roy to the corner. Nice steal by Appleby.
He's got it. Comes back outside. 14 seconds to go. Stolen by Williams.
Foul.
And a foul on Roy. That's his 5th.
Wow, what a turn of events.
I know it's second guessing. Should Appleby have gone strong to the
I
basket?
thought he should have gone right to the rim.
Absolutely.
Unless he was afraid of it being blocked, Vern. And Marcus Williams continues to provide the lift, the necessary ingredient at the proper time, no matter the circumstances. What leadership qualities that kid has. And you've just witnessed, to me, one of the premier players in the country getting his 5th foul in a really solid performance tonight.
Brandon Roy picks up 5. 11.3 to go. Young man who grew up in Seattle. Jim Calhoun said of him, he is the most complete player in college basketball. Lorenzo Romar telling us yesterday, I'm just disappointed he was never involved in any discussion about player of the year. He should have been in that conversation with Morrison and with J.J. Redick.
And I would agree, and very humble individual. You can see the frustration, but now, Vern, big. You make the free throws. There's a set of circumstances. You can push it. Marcus Williams, 84%, 9 for 9 this evening, unerring.
He was great at the line against Albany when they trailed by 12 and came back to win. He was great at the line against Kentucky, and he's perfect tonight.
And you know one other thing? The second half, Jim Calhoun has coached his team and not gotten after the officials. And it's amazing how kids do react to what you are like. Because here's a Hall of Fame coach, and given the circumstances, you can see why he's hyperkinetic on the sideline.
Appleby, 10 seconds to go. Back to Burmeister, way outside, off the mark.
And that's it. They give it away with 1 on the clock. Once again, Anderson sticking the jumper, and then Williams putting it in his hands, dissecting, creating, and finishing when necessary.
Resilient effort by the UConn Huskies. It was Rashad Anderson's 3 with 1.8 to go that sent this game into overtime. And the top-seeded Huskies will advance and take on George Mason on Sunday. And a sense of what might have been for the Washington Huskies, who led by as many as 10 in the ball game. They have had 5 players foul out.
Wow. Completely stripped, and now they're just checking on time, Vern. It may have been another second or 2 that should be put up on the clock. And, you know, lost in this because when everything is written tomorrow.
And you know what I got to say? So what?
Yeah, exactly. But I'm just thinking the fantastic job that these kids did, and Lorenzo Romar and his staff. I mean, that's the sad part. I mean, it'll be lost because of this terrific comeback and extraordinary feats performed at crunch time by some very capable performers.
Greg Austria at the line. One more. If you're keeping score at home, this will be the 47th free throw by UConn tonight.
What a shame.
23 free throws by the Washington Huskies. UConn advances in overtime. It was Rashad Anderson's three with 1.8 to go that sent this game into overtime.